Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode of Next Step Espresso. We are on episode 448. Now, a lot of us have triggers that we want to get rid of, right? Either they are trigger foods or they are trigger events or trigger emotions. And if you have these in your life, it is so vital that you identify what they are so that you can come up with an action plan. Now, these are different to everyone, but if you are struggling with your weight right now, it is very common for you to have one, if not all of these. So, what we want you guys to do, what I want you to do, is to start becoming hyper aware of when you might have an overeating event or where you might have an event where you eat the foods that don't fit in line with your goals or that you didn't actually find that you wanted right there and then. So at Next Step Nutrition, we believe in having the what's the word? The permission to eat whatever you like, right? But that doesn't mean whatever you want all the time in all the quantities, right? It is about having that mindfulness about eating and that intuition around eating to say, I haven't had a pizza in ages and I really want that right now, and then indulging in it in a sensible manner versus I just want to eat chocolate and crisps and biscuits all day long, right? Because actually, a lot of the time, the cravings that we have on a day to day basis come from other emotions. We have plenty of episodes on cravings. So if you haven't watched or listened to those, please hit the search bar now in your app and think Next Step Espresso cravings, and you'll find what you need. But when you find yourself indulging in the food you don't want to or in an overeating behavior, what I want you to do is to stop in the moment and think, man, how have I ended up here? Not in a judgmental way, right? Because there's no point in beating yourself up about it, but in a scientific analysis way. How have I ended up here? What was I thinking and feeling before this event occurred? What am I thinking and feeling now? And how am I likely to think and feel afterwards? Because if you can capture these things down in a notebook or a journal, now you can start to build your awareness piece of what's happening on a daily basis that might be holding you back from your goals. For me personally, I know that in the evening in front of the TV is a big trigger for me. I've had dinner. I'm definitely not hungry, but I get cravings for sweet foods. And it's not that I don't allow those in my diet. So it's not like I can say, man, I've not had a hobnob in ages. I really want one because I have them semi regularly. Same thing with small bits of chocolate. And I do indulge in a small amount of chocolate or sweet food on a daily basis to find that balance. But in the evening, I might find myself wanting more. And that's not due to the real desire. It's definitely a craving. And so in those moments, I have to then think to myself, what else can I do to occupy my time? It's either trying to surf the urge of that craving and watching the TV and understanding I'm not full, I'm not hungry, or it's doing something else. So you can now think what your triggers are. Perhaps it's stress. Perhaps it's every day at 3 p.m. you actually do get really hungry, but you haven't got a snack prepared or in mind. And so you just binge on other foods that don't suit your goals. Or perhaps it's a certain food in the house right now that is a trigger. So if you can know what your triggers are in food types, in events, in situations, now you can assess what you do about it. Right, okay, every time I get stressed, I eat cookies. What can you do instead of eating cookies to manage your stress? Okay, every time you get to 3 p.m., you get hungry as hell and you eat all the food in the cupboard. So, is there a snack that you can think about having at 3 p.m.? Because actually, that's the perfect time between lunch at 12 and dinner at 6. It's a natural thing, right? Eating every 3 to 5 hours is a natural thing for our bodies to do. And perhaps with a trigger food, it's going back to the episode the other day and thinking, I can control myself around this food, or you need to remove that food from your house for a period of time, or break it down into smaller portions. Rather than getting the big ass bars of dairy milk, you actually just get yourself a multi pack of small serving bars. Rather than getting the big ass pack of Doritos, perhaps you get smaller bags or you serve them into bowls that allow you to become portion aware. But have a think about journaling your events over the next week. What Are you thinking, feeling, and what happened before the event? What happened during, and how were you feeling? And what happened after, and how are you feeling? Because the more that you can capture that down on pen and paper, the much better you will be able to stop those things happening in the future. Thank you as always for listening to Next Step Espresso or watching it. Please do make sure that you subscribe to the podcast or like the video or give us a rating. Do what you can to help the podcast grow, because if you love the information, it would be great to share it with more people and to keep food and exercise simple for the rest of our lives. I'll see you tomorrow for another daily shot of fitness.